So you guys want to know how to learn the muscle up? Well, in today's video, we are going to teach you the missing link. I believe the key that really unlocked my ability to do a strict muscle up, which is, of course, the false grip, the ability to hold a false grip. Now, today's video, we are demonstrating a key component of the muscle up, but there is a lot of programming that we use in our muscle up masterclass to get people to a point where they can achieve a strong false grip. So we're sort of throwing you in the deep end here, but we're going to go deep. So all that and more coming up right after this. We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. This is my brother Yanni Burmeister, and we are the co-owners of Unity Gym and the co-creators of the Foundation Movement System. And this is the place where we teach you how to nourish and move instead of diet and exercise, because we believe that health should be measured by how your body performs and feels and not just how it looks. How you doing, Yanni?
Absolutely, mate. I'm doing good, and it feels good to be back live today. Yesterday we've been cramming guys to get this Muscle Up Masterclass out. We had a couple of people comment
and
yesterday.
Our super accumulation program for the FMS.
That's
and
right.
the Strength Essentials
Strength
program.
Essentials program.
It's been a lot of work this last couple of months, and it's all getting released this week. So
yeah, but we had a chat yesterday. We had a team meeting, and a couple of the guys that have been working on this project, editing the videos, said, this is by far and large the best program we've ever produced, the best standalone program, the Muscle Up Masterclass. And I agree, it's a monster of a program. And here's the thing, guys, to do a muscle up, we believe you've got to be able to do 10 really, really good form pull-ups. And so the program essentially is designed to take an absolute beginner to being able to do that, because it's a prerequisite, and further to get your muscle up. And so it's a very extensive program, and we're very passionate about teaching muscle ups, because not just because they're such a badass move that's empowering and makes you feel strong, but the muscle up itself improves efficiency of your workout dramatically. It's a very, very complex movement. Now, the complexity of movement progresses in many ways. The most obvious one is going from an open chain movement to a closed chain movement. Think leg press as opposed to squat, or lat pull down in this example as opposed to a chin up or pull up. The pull up or chin up is far, far harder. You may be able to, if you weigh 100 kilos, which is a pretty big person, you may be able to lat pull 100 kilos. That doesn't necessarily mean you can chin up your body weight. And the reason why is because the closed chain movements, the chin up, carry over, the strength carries over to everything else. And so that's one way of leveling up movement complexity, moving from a lat pull down to a chin up. The biggest way to improve movement complexity is to combine movement patterns, and that's what the muscle up does. It combines opposing movement patterns. You go from a pulling pattern to a pushing pattern in one movement. The other thing that the muscle up does, particularly if you're doing strict muscle ups like what we're teaching in our masterclass, is that you need to combine a V-sit in that as well. And so you've got three movement patterns in there, which dramatically increases the movement complexity. What does that mean for the individual? That means that you dramatically improve the efficiency of your workout and the overall strength adaptation. So we're very passionate about that. But the other reason, give us some insight about why we feel pulling patterns are so important, and why things like yoga are an incomplete movement practice.
Yeah, that's a loaded topic, because whenever you say that yoga isn't the be-all and end-all of the yogis in the world get very, very upset.
We get smashed with emails. We have a lot of yogi friends who have our email addresses.
Yeah, and we get, on social media especially, we get smashed. The yogis really fire up when you, and we're not here saying that yoga isn't good. I'm not saying that at all, but it's incomplete. And if you think that yoga is complete, unfortunately you're sorely mistaken. There's a lot of things that lack from yoga. Just like I could say martial arts isn't complete, just like you could say weightlifting isn't complete, just like you could say gymnastics isn't complete. And the reason why something like yoga is incomplete is because there is no lower body loaded work, meaning weightlifting. And there is, unless you do these modern hybrid forms of yoga, which aren't real yoga when you speak to a yogi, there's a total imbalance between pushing and pulling movements. And in all honesty, you only need to look at the high-level yogis to see they have very underdeveloped legs, and they don't have very good pulling strength. Yeah. So the muscle up is, going back to what you said, Yanni, why is pulling so important? It's very important to balance pushing and pulling. And if you do a practice that is all on the floor, then you are doing no pulling. There is no opinion on this, there's no argument on it. If your practice is on the floor, there is zero pulling whatsoever. The only way you can do any kind of pulling is with the help of something like gymnastics rings, chin-up bar, or dumbbells or barbells. Would you agree?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, there is no pulling that happens on the floor. So maybe if you do some of these aerial yoga things that I've heard about but never really seen much of, maybe there's a bit of pulling in those, but it's nothing like when you do like gymnastics, for example, which is very balanced in pushing, or maybe I won't say balanced, but it has a hell of a lot of pulling in it, you know?
Yeah.
Or weightlifting. If you do proper strength and conditioning like what we do in the Foundation Movement System or in the Muscle Up program, there's a perfect balance between pushing and pulling. For every one set and every one rep that you do of pushing, you do a rep and a set of pulling, and that creates the optimal structural balance in the shoulders.
Yeah, that's right. And then look, to elaborate very quickly before we head out on the gym floor, you know, there are optimal ways to train the body and suboptimal ways to train the body. A suboptimal way to train the body is to do body weight leg exercises. The legs, the hips are a very solid structure, and the muscle surrounding them, there's very big muscle bodies there that you just can't stimulate optimally with your own body weight. You have to load external weight, and that's where barbells, kettlebells and dumbbells come into it. Barbells are hands down the best tool you can possibly use to train the lower body with deadlifts and squats. With the upper body, it's different because of the complexity of the shoulder joint and its natural ability to go into a lot of different end ranges. Things like gymnastics rings and chin-up bars are fantastic. You don't necessarily need
it's not just that.
External weights.
It's also because your body weight on your arms is more than enough weight to create a stimulus and to overload. But in the legs, it's not like that.
Enough,
your legs are so big and strong that your own body weight is just not enough to create growth in the muscle.
So where we say yoga is an incomplete movement practice, so is calisthenics. Because calisthenics, naturally, they don't generally, all the best Cali guys who want a well-balanced body and physique squat, barbell squat, and deadlift and things like that.
The truth is there's actually very few of them from what we see that actually do that, and which means that most of the really good calisthenics guys, they all wear tracksuit pants in their videos, because if you see their legs, they look like that. And the only calisthenics person that I can think of that I know of that trains legs properly is Daniel Vadnal from Fitness FAQs. He's the only person that, I'm not saying they're not out there, but from what I've seen, just the people that I've seen.
In our circle of influence.
In our circle, yeah. So I'm sure there's guys out there, I'm sure there's more, but the people that I follow, the people that I've seen, he's the only person that is posting himself doing squats and deadlifts, and that we've met and we've spoken to him and seen the results, and he has a great physique.
So the thing is, with the way we practice, we sit here on our high horse bagging everyone out, but
we're not bagging anyone out. All we're doing is we're just talking about our observations of other people's of other practices.
But the way that we believe the better way to train is to not get stuck in your dogma and your belief about a certain movement practice, and take the best from anything and then create something that works for you. We want to be strong, flexible and athletic, and we want our tribe to be strong, flexible and athletic, and you cannot be strong if you don't train legs with heavy weight. In the real world, a strong wind will blow you over. It doesn't matter how many pull-ups you can do and how much weight you can lift on a pull-up. If you can't squat double your body weight, if someone runs at you in the street, you're going to get knocked over.
Well, maybe not double your body weight. That's at the higher level. You could still be pretty strong if you couldn't squat double your body weight.
I think that should be a goal for everyone.
It probably should, but even if somebody gets up to squatting their own body weight, they're going to be a hell of a lot stronger than when they come in and they can barely do 10 or 20%. Sure. But going back to it as well, saying if you don't do, if you do calisthenics or whatever, and you're not doing weightlifting, in the same way, if you're doing a lot of pushing and you're not doing pulling, then you're going to be out of whack. And that's what Yanni, if we bring this back to what we're talking about, if we went back to it, so this is the idea with if your movement practice, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're doing upper body work and you're not balancing, pushing and pulling, then you're going to have problems. Your body is going to develop in an unbalanced way, and that leads to issues down the road. And that's where, if we bring this in for landing, that's why we love the muscle up. So all that said, do you want to get out and we'll show the guys the
I was just going to say before we go, I really I miss these conversations that we used to have on this show where we just tear people apart and then wait for all the emails and fucking messages and comments to come in that I have to answer for the next few days. Yeah. But anyway, let's go out on the gym floor. We're going to demonstrate the false grip, which is really the missing link in a strict muscle up that a lot of people don't understand, and then we'll come back and
Yanni can't talk now because I'm the only one with the mic, so we're getting out there, and Yanni's gonna be our model today, and I'm going to be the instructor. So if you missed yesterday's session, yesterday's video, have a look at that because that's where we show how to chalk the hands. So
this is a thicker.
Okay, sure.
I like this.
Okay.
Just quickly. The rings, they do them in a 32 millimeter and a 28 millimeter, and the bigger your hands are, the nicer it feels with the 32s. If you've got little tiny hands, the 28s are fine. Like Rad likes the 28s. He's not used to having something thick in his hand.
Oh God, here we go. I don't know if you could hear any of that. All I heard was a load of blah, 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 but anyway. So Yanni, because Yanni doesn't have a mic, so I don't know how much you heard him talking there. What he was saying is that there's 32 mil rings and 28 mil rings, and Yanni likes the 32 mil rings. So the false grip. What Yanni's going to do is, this is critical. If you want to learn how to do a muscle up, on the rings, you must be able to do a false grip. So what you're going to do is the rings, you're going to reach through to the far side of the rings like what Yanni's doing there. And then from here, you're going to turn the rings inward to your body as much as you can so that the pressure goes on there. You can see where there's a bit of a discoloration on my wrist there. That's from doing ring muscle up. So that's where the pressure goes. Now this is where most people get it wrong. The first thing that people get wrong is when they do a false grip, they grab and they don't turn enough, and the pressure goes here. And what happens is, so if they don't turn enough, they go to maybe there. And then what happens is, as soon as you put your body weight into it, your hand goes like that and you lose it. A good false grip, you'll be able to hold it quite easily when you put your whole body weight. So Yanni's got his legs off the ground. Okay, there you go. He's done a muscle up. Okay. Let's not do too many because you're not warmed up. Yanni is notorious for doing things before he's warmed up and then going, oh shit, I fucked my shoulder. I need to rest for a day or two. So I've got to put the brakes on him. That's the joys of being a big brother. You still got to look out for your little brother even when you're in your 40s.
And the joys of being a little brother are that you've always got to be better than your big brother.
So what you do from here, once you've got that false grip, what you want to practice is pulling your elbows in and retracting your shoulders and depressing your shoulders so that you're pulling those rings as hard into your chest as you can, and you want to try and lift your legs off the ground and see if you can get 30 seconds of a false grip hold.
So what in our muscle ups masterclass, we have a prerequisite. You've got to be able to do 15 seconds before even attempting the muscle up, because the thing is, when you just step away for a sec. When I go from here through to that transition into the deep portion of the dip, it's really hard on my hands. If you do a zoom in here, I've got callus on my wrists here. But if you haven't built the strength there, you can really hurt yourself in the wrist. You can see where I'm taking the weight. The weight point, the friction point is here. And so if you attempt to start doing the transition before you can hold a 15-second false grip, you're not going to have the tissue in here that can tolerate that amount of resistance. And what most likely will happen is that the skin will tear. It literally will just tear there. So I've worked very hard to be able to walk out here and do that really easily, and I could do that for quite a while before my skin starts to tear. We do recommend using chalk. If I was doing a workout and I needed to do 25 muscle ups in my workout, I'd be chalking my wrist and my hand like Rad demonstrated yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, you want to watch yesterday's video. But that's good. We've shown the false grip, so we can go in and talk about it now. Yep. So as we go in, so that's That's how you do a false grip. There's a lot of things that we teach in the Muscle Up Masterclass that get you to that point, and also how to progress the false grip, because that's just the first stage. You also need to develop a false grip where you actually can go to full extension like Yanni did for a minute there. Not full extension, just bringing your arms up above your head like this. So full lockout, I should say. So and that is an absolute prerequisite. If you can't do that, you're never going to be able to do a good muscle up, or your muscle up's always going to have a kip. And we don't want to be teaching kipping muscle ups. What we want is to be able to teach a raw strength muscle up where it's done with full on upper body control, no kipping, no flicking your legs around and waving around like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Anything you want to add to it?
Well, the benefits to learning to do it the right way is that then, if you ever want to do a kipping pull-up, it's very easy. A kipping pull-up is...
Or a kipping muscle up.
Kipping muscle up, sorry. Like if you learn it the right way first, then all the structures in the body are becoming conditioned to that, and you're not reliant on that momentum or relying on the stretch reflex and the Golgi tendon and things like that to slingshot you up, We, of course, in the Muscle Up Masterclass, and in all of our programs, we like to teach things probably, I say the right way, because there's much less risk of injury doing it that way, and you also build real strength. You're not cheating. We're not trying to teach the best way to cheat a movement. We're trying to teach the best way to execute a movement with good form.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you didn't know, right now we are offering our Muscle Up Masterclass to our subscribers. It's only gone, we only launched it on Monday or Tuesday in Australia.
We haven't officially launched to the public yet. We officially launched to the public next week.
Yep.
But for the first week, for 72 hours, we give it at half price to our subscribers.
And we're already...
And our YouTube subscribers.
Viewers. So you'll get a link in this video for where you can grab it. It's we're offering the Muscle Up Masterclass, normally $149. It's $79, but we include the Strength Essentials program, which is $149. We're including a couple of other programs, which are $99 each. It's a total value of $693, and you have less than 48 hours left to get it.
Now,
and we're very strict with the cutoff times for our. So if you miss this deadline, you will not ever be able to get this deal with all these bundles again. This
video is going to be up on YouTube forever, so if you're watching this at a later stage, hello in the future, for one, and two, you will obviously go there and it'll be full price. We only do these flash sales when we launch the product. So just be aware of that. It's still an amazing product. It's an amazing program, and it's insane value for $149. But if you're watching right now live, then you've got a very limited time to grab on and get an insane deal. Bernard has just said yoga originally equals mind and energy balancing through the body when necessary. Sitting and breathing is more yoga than all the modern branded yoga.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to answer that one because I've looked into this. Bernard, I love that you said that, man. And I love that you've jumped in on that because Yanni and I did actually learn yoga when we were kids, and we learnt it the more traditional way. So there was a lot more about breathing and the traditional poses. And the only person that I've had some real experience with who has really delved deep into yoga, who I've been able to have a chat face-to-face to. And when I say this, we've got some friends that are very big on yoga, but they do this one style. But I've worked with Ido Portal, and Ido has gone to India to learn yoga, and he's learned from some of the top, what are they called? Yogis in the world. And he's learned very traditional yoga from India, and in his own words, he laughs at what people call yoga these days. It's a total bastardization of what it really is. So I'm really glad that you said that. And I want to make this really, really clear. We are not bagging yoga. Yoga is amazing, and it has an amazing place for it. All we're saying is that it's incomplete. Yeah. And if anybody says that yoga is complete, that it has enough pushing and pulling for the body to thrive, the muscles, the joints, we're not talking about the mind and the spirit, then you don't understand what the body goes on.
Who push the dogma of anything, and yoga is one of the worst. Like as far as movement practice, martial arts are, I reckon, the worst. You get zealots that do like traditional karate that say it's just the best in the world.
I was one of them.
Rad
was a martial arts zealot. I did kung fu for 13 years, and I was the same with kickboxing.
When I was a kickboxer, I just thought Muay Thai was just the bee's knees. It was just the best thing you could possibly do. Yoga is the same. Yoga, you talk to a passionate yogi who's done it all their life, and they will argue till they're fucking red in the face that it's the best thing on the planet, and it's far superior to any other movement. We even had a guy tell us the other day that everything derived from yoga, every movement practice on the planet derived from yoga, which is the biggest load of horseshit I've ever heard in my life. If you were to say that, you would be arguing, you'd be more right to argue that everything originated from martial arts, because that dates back far longer than yoga. But
it actually doesn't.
It doesn't?
No.
Really?
it was a good one.
It sounded good. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, look, I mean, it depends on who you speak to, you know, because you speak to, anyway, look, this is a whole nother topic. But Bernard, thanks for chiming in, because, what you've said there, physical conditioning is a whole thing in itself. Yeah, man, I mean, like, if yoga asanas are good for you and you enjoy them, do them, man. Go for it. You know, it's, for us, I train for between 2 and 3 hours a day, and I have certain goals. One of my goals is to have a balanced movement practice with upper and lower body, left to right side, pushing and pulling. I want my body to be very balanced like that. The other is to have a balance in strength and flexibility. That's what I want. I want to be as strong as I am flexible. I don't want one being out of whack. Another is to have end range strength, so to be able to control my limbs in the end of their ranges, so that everything that I've worked on is usable. And then another is to take all of that and learn skills so that I can express my strength and my flexibility through things like handstands and muscle ups and stuff like that. And then the last one is to be athletic. I want to be.
We can outrun the zombies when the apocalypse happens.
That's right. Yeah. No, I want to be athletic. I want to look and feel good within my body and feel proud about what I've achieved. And that's why we've created the Foundation Movement System. The Foundation Movement System is a culmination of everything that Yanni and I have learned over our lives, and that we continue to learn. We continue to evolve it to put it into a practice that achieves those goals. So yeah, if you want to do yoga asanas, if that's something that makes you feel good about yourself, by all means, do it, man. And I know you love your yoga. I know you've done it for a while. So hats off to you, brother. I mean, anyone doing any kind of movement practice is better than nothing. I'll finish by saying that. If you're going to do yoga, or you're going to do martial arts, or you're going to do dance or calisthenics, and that's all you're going to do, and it was either that or nothing, you're doing great. Good on you. Good on you. At least you're moving. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Tomorrow we're going to teach the pull up L sit. Is that what we call it? Pull up to L sit, which is a critical step going further from the false grip. It's a critical step into being able to get up and over the ring. So look out for that one. We'll be coming at you tomorrow. Unity V Live.
Unity V Live. Woo!
Have a great day, everyone. See you soon.
Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, it's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.